domestic gas availability, I think one thing is very clear that this decade is going to belong to natural gas. There's no doubt about that. In terms of India, I think one of India is of course going at a very fast rate. We expect it to grow more than 8% per year from here on, at least for this decade. So that would mean that the energy requirement is also going to be substantial from where we see it today. And we all know that as a country, we have set ourselves a target of 15% share in primary energy of natural gas from current 6% by 2030. Now that itself means a substantial increase in gas consumption. So if you do the numbers, basically we are currently today somewhere around 160 to 170 mmSCMD consumption in the country. And if you extrapolate the energy consumption by 2030 and do 15% of that, that itself would come to close to 600 mmSCMD. So basically that means that we have to triple our natural gas consumption over next 10 years. So that is of course a humongous challenge, but I think if we take the right steps, we can achieve it. Another point that we can derive from these numbers is today we as a country, our dependence on imported LNG is about 50% of our requirement. So now if you extrapolate 600 mmSCMD and you want to continue the 50% import dependence, or basically 50% self-sufficiency, that will mean that we will have to increase the domestic production again by at least 4 to 5 fold. So from current 80 to 80 mmSCMD, will have to go to at least 250 to 60 mmSCMD. So this basically means the challenge for availability, making gas available, is very, very large. It is almost like 3x in next 10 years. So that's the challenge, and it means challenge not only for domestic production, also for import of LNG. So now if you think about domestic gas availability, I think 2020-21 is the golden period for domestic gas in India, as we saw after a long hiatus increase in domestic production. Domestic production increased by around 20% in last 1 year. So this is primarily backed on increase in production from KG Basin by Reliance and BP, and also production increase from Vedanta fields in Rajasthan. So basically, for sure, this was a very golden year. In fact, next 3-4 years also we are going to see increase in domestic availability of gas. And based on whatever projects that are under implementation or have been announced, the increase in domestic production could easily be around 40 to 50 mmSCMD. So if you look at between 20 to 25, the increase in domestic production is quite large. It's almost the increase of 70-80%. So which is a good sign, but it also means that the sustenance is also going to be critical. So what this increase in production is as a result of all the investment decisions that have been taken in last 3 to 4 years. Similar investment decisions will need to be made in next 3 to 4 years to sustain this kind of production, which will mean that a lot of efforts would need to be made to sustain this production. I will also touch upon a little bit on contribution of Reliance along with our partners BP in terms of domestic availability in the country. So as between Reliance and BP, we are investing about $5 billion. These are primarily for development of 3 projects, 2 of which have already been commissioned, and another project is likely to be commissioned next year. And the total production that increase that will happen from these three projects is going to be about 30 MMSCMD, of which 18 MMSCMD is already under production and another 12 MMSCMD is going to come on stream next year. Also, we are the largest producer of CBM in the country. We are currently producing roughly about close to 1 MMSCMD of CBM from our fields in Shahdol in Madhya Pradesh. So that's about the availability of from Reliance and BP. In terms of what is the framework required, I think government has taken a lot of reforms that have made this investment possible. There has been marketing and pricing freedom for CBM. There has been marketing pricing freedom for difficult fields, deep water HPHT fields. There has been a policy for new hydrocarbon exploration licensing policy, which basically grants pricing and marketing freedom for all new developments that come on stream from here on. A lot of effort is also going on in promoting bio CNG, which is for which we are going to start seeing results shortly. So a lot of efforts, policy reforms have taken place that has made this production side in the country looking brighter than ever before. Simultaneously, there has also been efforts in increasing the gas consumption in the country, whether you look at the CGD rounds, which saw a few hundred GAs being awarded by PNGRB. We also been seeing a lot of investment happening in the downstream infrastructure. So basically, demand and supply efforts are being made to increase both demand as well as supply. My last point would be, yes, a lot has been done, but a few things need to be done for future. One of the industry demand has been bringing natural gas under the ambit of GST. This will basically remove all the tax complexities that are there today in trading in natural gas. Different states have different tax structures, and the application of these taxes is little complicated, which means it's not very easy to trade in natural gas. So this is one request that we have been making. The other is implementation of unified pipeline tariff, which was recently announced by, which was recently notified by PNGRB. I think implementation of UPT is also going to be a landmark reform, which will basically mean one nation, one gas grid, and it will connect all the supply sources, all the demand sources, and it will become very easy for any buyer and any seller to operate in the market, and it will further help in increasing the availability of gas in the country. So with that, I would like to and hand over it to the next speaker. Thank you.